We're now just 3 months away from Apple releasing the entire iPhone 16 lineup, and today I not only want to show you the final designs for both the iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro, but also a look at a number of new features that Apple seemingly confirmed with their announcement of iOS 18 and Apple Intelligence. I don't know, it just feels like a lot of these puzzle pieces that didn't make any sense are finally coming together. So let me start off by showing you all 4 of the new iPhones that Apple is going to be releasing this year. The iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus on the lower end, and the iPhone 16 Pro and iPhone 16 Pro Max on the high end. Let's look at the 2 cheaper iPhones first. On the iPhone 16 and iPhone 16 Plus, Apple is said to be using a pretty similar design to what we have now, with aluminum edges that are rounded and more comfortable to hold, and the same 6.1 and 6.7 inch screen sizes. But there are 3 major design changes that Apple is making this year. First, on the side of the iPhone 16, Apple is getting rid of the mute switch and they're replacing it with the action button that we first saw introduced on the iPhone 15 Pros last year. This is a classic Apple move right here, bringing down a Pro feature to the regular models just a year later, and it's nice that you now have the ability to remap it to whatever you want, especially with all the new options that Apple added in iOS 18. Again, more on those iOS 18 features in just a bit. The second major design change for this year is a brand new camera setup on the back. You probably saw this earlier, and I think this looks so much better than the weird diagonal layout that we've had since the iPhone 13. With the iPhone 16, Apple will be vertically stacking the wide and ultra-wide cameras on top of each other. That not only looks a lot better and absolutely reminiscent of the iPhone 10, but it's also going to bring yet another Pro feature down to the standard iPhones, which is 3D spatial video recording. It first came out on the iPhone 15 Pro last year, and it lets you record immersive movies that you can watch back on none other than Apple's $3,500 Apple Vision Pro headset, which they will refuse to let you forget about. I'm only half joking about this, by the way, though, because I don't actually think that this is built for the current Vision Pro. I think Apple's adding this to all iPhones so that in a couple of years, when we get the $2,000 regular Apple Vision headset, Apple will be able to look back and say, look, we've let you record spatial video for 2 to 3 years now, so you have this entire content library that works with this new product on day one. A very smart long-term play from Apple. But it's the third major design change on the iPhone 16 that is by far the most interesting to me, because it's the addition of a second brand new button on the right side of the phone below the power switch. This is apparently going to be called the capture button, and it will be used for recording videos and capturing photos on the fly, and even said to be touch and pressure sensitive, sort of like 3D Touch was on the iPhone 6s. Might sound familiar if you've ever spent time with a traditional digital camera, which of course has a capture button built in right there. A half press allows you to focus, a full press allows you to take the photo. Very cool that Apple's now adding this level of stuff to the iPhone. I really think adding all this together, the standard iPhone 16s are looking like a really solid deal this year. Of course, I am most excited for the high-end model. So let me show you the final design for both the iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 16 Pro Max now. For the second year in a row, Apple's planning to use the titanium material, and it sounds like they may bring back rose gold to the color lineup. Apple's also increasing the screen sizes for the first time since 2020, up 0.2 inches to about 6.3 and 6.9 inches respectively. And once again, Apple is rumored to make 3 major design changes here as well. Starting off with the bezels on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which are said to be the thinnest bezels on any smartphone ever made in the history of the world. Now, I know that seems like a small change, but when you look at the renders of just how thin these bezels are going to be this year, it is so close to that vision of a truly bezel-less, edgeless iPhone, and I love that we're making progress every year. The second major change on the Pro models is the type of titanium that Apple may be using on these. Instead of being the flat, brushed look that we have currently, it might be switching to a polished titanium, which is much more shiny and reflective. I just think this polished titanium look would really give you the beauty of stainless steel, but the durability and the lightness of titanium, which would be the best of both worlds together. And the third major change for the Pro models, well, you could probably predict it. Apple will also be adding that capture button from the cheaper iPhones on here as well, and I would bet this will have some even additional features that you don't get on the lower end models. And according to the most recent leaks, this is the final design for the 16 Pro. Apple is not making any major changes, and to me, it almost looks one-to-one with last year's iPhone 15 Pro. And considering that Apple uses the way that the new phone looks every year as a main way to market it, it got me thinking about, well, how is Apple going to market these phones? And what is the actual new feature and upgrade going to be for the Pro models this time around? Well, I'm not yet convinced that this big new feature is going to be improved battery life. So that's why I partnered up with Anchor, who sponsored today's video, to show you their brand new 3-in-1 power bank, which is the ultimate grab-and-go de-facto fast charging companion. See, this isn't just a regular power bank. It also has a built-in AC plug as well as USB-C cable, so that wherever you are, you have everything you need to charge. And my favorite feature by far is the pass-through charging feature, where you can flip out the AC plug to charge the internal battery, but also pass through power to two other USB-C devices, one with your own USB-C cable and another with the built-in version. And as somebody who's always traveling and constantly forgetting the one USB-C cable that I was supposed to bring, it's really nice that this has one built in, so it's impossible to forget. The built-in USB-C cable was also made to be incredibly durable and widely compatible. It's rated at over 10,000 bends, so it will hold up well over time. And my favorite part, it turns into a lanyard so you can carry this around, and yeah, it's the most fun I've ever had with a power bank. Plus, with the additional USB-C port on here, when you plug this in at night, you can wake up the next day with two fully charged devices and a fully charged power bank just from one plug on the wall. Anker's 3-in-1 turns a jumbled mess of power bricks, power banks, and USB-C cables and combines it into one streamlined product that is just nice to use. Anker's 3-in-1 features two-way 30-watt fast charging, so you can power up an iPhone 15 Pro to 50% power from zero in just about 25 minutes. And they fit all of this into something that can just slide into your pocket and you can carry with you comfortably all day. I mean, just the build quality of this in general feels great, and I cannot wait to take it on my next trip. But if you're looking for something even more sleek and on the go, Anker has a 5,000 milliamp hour version of this same 3-in-1 power bank as well. You get the same built-in USB-C cable with the additional USB-C port, and the pass-through charging mode also works on here, which is incredible. It's just a bit smaller, and this one features a cool LED display as well. Right now, you can grab either one of these when you use my link down below in the description, and a huge thank you to Anker for sponsoring this part of the video, because they made sure that my phone didn't die with all the filming I had to do today. Okay, now let's get back to it. Okay, so what is the headlining feature for the iPhone 16 Pro this year? Well, that, based off of everything I have read, is going to be a ton of exclusive iPhone features built around AI that you can only get on the iPhone 16 Pro. Because a lot of people found it weird that at the end of Apple's announcements for Apple Intelligence, they made a note that these are only available on the latest iPhone 15 Pro. A lot of people were so excited for all these new features, only to find that unless you literally had the latest, most expensive iPhone, the current 15 Pro, you don't get any of this stuff because the AI runs on device, and this is the phone with the fastest processor to handle that. And right there, everything clicked, because it showed me that Apple was comfortable building specific AI features for only their latest and greatest hardware. We've heard something about the iPhone 16 Pros that not that many people are talking about, and that is that the new chip inside of the iPhone 16 Pro specifically this year is going to be pretty wild. Not only is Apple said to be cutting the new A18 Pro chip from a physically larger chip die, which will increase performance and efficiency, it's going to have a significantly upgraded neural engine with a ton of additional cores. In other words, all the iOS 18 AI features that we got are only available on the current hardware. What if Apple adds a 30 to 50% performance boost for AI on only the iPhone 16 Pro, and suddenly the phone that looks the exact same becomes a lot more interesting? Now, so far, we have not heard any specific leaks of exact exclusive iPhone 16 Pro AI features that are coming, but Apple Intelligence, if that was just a taste of what we're about to be getting, if that was just the introduction of what Apple can possibly do on current hardware, I don't know, the fact that we are hearing that Apple is specifically targeting the AI neural engine component of the chip to be a huge upgrade year over year, I don't think they're just doing that so the current features work a little bit better on the new model. No, they are absolutely, I have no doubt in my mind, building out custom exclusive features just for the new Pro models. Here's the thing though, after using iOS 18 for a few days, I think it also confirms two other changes that Apple will be making on the iPhone 16s this year. The first is confirmation that Apple is absolutely adding the action button to all iPhones in 2024. And the reason I say that is because even on stage at the event, Apple made specific mention that the action button can do way more than it used to. While before it was limited to Apple's preset options or any shortcut, now you can reassign any control center toggle to be enabled by the action button. And while right now the action button is only on the iPhone 15 Pros, when Apple adds this to the entire lineup, they would want that to be a headline feature that you can do so much more with the action button in iOS 18, and now you can do that on all iPhones. And the second one is also button related. In iOS 18, Apple added a really cool UI change where when you push in the volume buttons or even the power switch, it'll kind of pop out of the bezel as if you are physically squeezing your phone in. I mean, this looks so cool. It's a really tiny change and it doesn't actually matter, but in a year where we're hearing that Apple is adding an entirely new button to all iPhones, I'm talking about the capture button, I just find it interesting that Apple is now drawing attention to presses of these certain buttons. Not to mention that we've heard years of Apple adding solid state haptic feedback track buttons around the entire iPhone, replacing the physical switches that exist currently. Haptic buttons would work like the home button on an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 8, where when you press in on them, they vibrate, but they don't physically move, making the phone not only more waterproof, but also more durable over time, as less moving parts means less things to fix. Initially, Apple had planned that to release on the iPhone 15 last year, and it never happened. So with this button change in iOS 18 and new rumors of this popping up again for the iPhone 16, I gotta tell you, I think it could be time for haptic buttons on the iPhone 16 Pro. Of course, all these changes for AI and the action button and the capture button in iOS 18 could just be a coincidence. But it's Apple we're talking about here. They know the plans, they're building the software that will launch with the iPhone 16 series, and it absolutely seems like they're teasing some cooler things are on the way. I don't know, putting this all together, the iPhone 16 Pro isn't looking as boring as it would look if you just saw the design in isolation. Now, I want to give a huge thank you to artyfex for all of the beautiful renders that you've seen in this video. This dude is absolutely insane. Please go give him a follow down below. I couldn't have done this video without him. And of course, if you enjoyed watching it, drop a like down below. It means the world to me, and hit subscribe for more info about the iPhone 16 very soon. Okay, I've been Sam. Hope you're doing well. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.